This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Hello, so we're back. Yes, you had a lovely night's rest, isn't that true? Right, this is your Mastering Mathematics, and I'm Karen Weston, and on behalf of the Ministry of Education, our EBU unit and Center for Mathematics and ABS Television, we're delighted to come into your homes and into your bedrooms and in your cars and on the street corners, just to make certain that we know that mathematics is something that we can all do. All right, I've challenged those guys at the post office that I'm coming down there to play a game of warrior with them, and I'm going to beat them too. All right, yes. So all that takes thinking, and this is where we are in our little classroom here doing mathematics. Yesterday we started a topic, functions and relations, and we skipped right away and we went and we told you about what a relation is. That is a set of ordered pairs. We associated it with a Cartesian plane, so we knew right away. And we got two new words. And of course, today I have my students here because I'm not going to let them go. No, we have work to do. All right. So Anetta and Charmaine, they're right here and they're wearing and willing to go too. All right. So, and my friends, you're all welcome, and everybody, welcome to the big classroom. And Jetta is here, ready as ever. We gave you the definition for relation, and today now we must give you a definition for functions, because we're doing a little stepping back to tell you that there are 4 types of mapping, but not each one of them is a function. So what is our definition for a function? And again, Gray and Lane in his certificate mathematics has provided me with what I consider to be quite adequate, and it says a function is a relation. That's why we had to give you relation first. A function is a relation in which each element in the domain is paired with one and only one element in the range. Do we know these words, domain and range? Are we talking about relation? All right. Are we talking about element? All right. And now we are defining a function. Okay. So it's important that at all time as teachers we make certain the language we're using in the classroom is something that we would have explained to our student, because the language for mathematics is not their daily conversational language. All right, so make certain they're technical scientific words, and we want to make certain that they understand, so we take the time out to make sure that there's a place for that. So we have just now given you a function. So far we know relation, we know domain, we know range, and just in our topic sets we know what element means. Okay, so we're making certain that this, and now we are defining the word function. Okay, you cannot be doing a topic and somebody asks you what you mean by that, and you say, no girl, but it's so and so you do. You know, one time I had a student who just wanted to ask me about the quadratic equation, and if you ever hear how she explained what is the things that you add a piece to and subtract, and tell the students, use the correct term so that they can understand what it is. So right away we have a function is a relation in which each element in the domain is paired with one and only one element in the range. So we're talking about something like this, where we have this and we have that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can say this is going with 5, that is going with 10, that is going with 15, and this could be going with 20. All right, so then we know that that would have been a function f of x, which is equal to 5x. Okay, now again we call this a mapping, and then this is known as, so we use the word mapping here too. Okay, so we have mapping, and generally people start from this part where they're saying there are 4 types of mapping, but we want to give it to you as we do the topic to make certain you can see the relationship. So now, after knowing that a relationship is a set of ordered pairs, and the first number is called the domain, the second is the range, the element would be the members that we're dealing with, we can now emphasize and talk about our mapping. So now this one and only one, so this is just a one-to-one mapping. All right, one-to-one mapping. Now suppose somebody did something like this. Okay, and we had 1, we had 2, you had 3, you had 4, we have 5, you have 10, you have 15, and you have 20, and 1 came here but still said I'm going here, and although 2 would be going here, this one is so cravenous for everything because it must be Christmas gift and she wants all of everything. Yes, so she went here again, and then we can have this going here and that going here. Now, because 1 has gone to several persons, so this is our domain, and this is the range. Now, just because 1 has gone to several persons in the range, we are calling it one to many. One to many. All right? So the second mapping we're knowing is one that is called one to many. Okay, remember we told you that one to many. They have 4 of them. The first one we were dealing with, and this is the one we have known all our lives, because they say when x is equal to what is y equal to, and we've been given that, the one-to-one. Now we examine and look how words help you with your definition. One to many. So this one saying, oh, I want $5 here, but I want $10 from him, I want $15 from him. All right? So they go on to 3 persons. That even in mathematics, we have the law to say, when you're in a relationship, no woman should have more than 1 boyfriend, more than 1 husband. Even in mathematics we hear that. All right, and then so if that happens, they're not functions. All right, 1 to 1, that is what we preach. I'm a Christian too. 1 to 1, not 1 to many. That is contentious. All right, so that is not a function. All right, not 1 to many. No, however, we know in this world we have some godfathers, don't we? Yes, and that, so when we have another function that goes like this, watch me, because the stories are right there in the mathematics classroom, you know, and I don't know why they don't tell them. All right, because those children will remember more than the maths we're teaching them. They will remember the maths because we tell them a story with it. Oh my gosh, watch. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and over here you can say you have 3, you have 6, you have 9, okay, and we have 12. And look what is happening. Look at what is happening. Seems as if they're in bundles and they're numbered. And what do we have? And we can have 1 saying, I am going to 9. And we can have 2 saying, I am going to 9. And we can have 3 saying, I am going to 9. And we can also have 4 saying, I am going to 9. So what do we have from the domain? We have many to 1. We have many to 1. And this is what happens, especially around this time, Christmas time. The politicians are the 1, and we are the many. They must give us things, okay? Yes, so it's always many to 1. That's when they run and hide from us. Oh my. So, and listen, it's a function. Many to 1 is a function, okay? Because it's the domain. Each person is still only going home with 1 gift. They're not going from here to there and say, oh, see, Tommy up there, so let me go and rub him too. Oh, see, so-and-so down here, let me go and say, what? Let me go and shake down so-and-so. They're not saying that, okay? They're just saying, I prefer to deal with so-and-so because he's gentle and nobody going to know if he gave me something. So that's where they're going. And then so you see many to 1. Like I hear the Rose saying, yes, his program is ended because he has to go and look for his old people, right? So many, right, he's going to feed many and to 1. All of them going to Tanny, right? He's calm and cool, making certain they have a good Christmas dinner. That happens in the mathematics classroom. That is what maths is all about, okay? And that's a function, many to 1. And so look at how you just learn them. 1 to 1. Okay, we're accustomed to that. 1 to many, and we say we don't want that in our society because that's against Christianity. 1 woman going to several men. No, that can't happen. All right, right, or vice versa. Right, yes, it can be right. Okay, there's a man with several ladies. Right, 1 to many. No, and we can go many to 1. Because you just said, I like him, his preference, okay? So many to 1. And that's what happened with Santa Claus. Isn't that true? Right? Everybody go and put it like a children right there. Yes, Santa Claus, right here. Good. In the mathematics classroom. And that is what we have. And the last one, and the same thing with teachers too. Yes, because they say, Miss Weston, you have children? I said, 40,000. And they said, Lord, which hospital you went to? I said, oh, the universal one. Okay? That is what it is. Same thing with teacher. Yes, someone said, Miss Weston, you remember me? I said, oh my God, if I say yes, you're lying. Okay? But that is what it is. And just be passionate and just do these things with the children. You will see how they say, hey, wait, the class done? I didn't even realize that. That is what we want to happen. Not people looking bored sitting down in the classroom and teachers going on as if the children can't ask them the question. Oh my gosh, no. And you know what? Oh, I have to talk about this too. This thing about in the classroom now. Suddenly in Independence, Antigua, we have our school children and everybody's, no miss. Oh, colonial days come back again? No, sir. No, miss. I asked my little niece, what's our teacher's name? She doesn't know. Why? Because everybody comes in the classroom and you're calling them miss. No, miss. Yes, miss. That is an insult to me. Because we got rid of our colonial masters, okay? And your name is Miss Benjamin, your name is Miss Smith, your name is Miss so-and-so, and that's it, okay? And if the little people feel like calling me Karen, I wanted to call me Karen. Okay, if you can get that relationship, you isolate them with this barrier, talking about no miss, yes miss, yes miss, no sir, no. In Independent Antigua, this is happening. Somebody joking. Okay, so here we are again. So it is a 1, and it's 2, and it's 3, and it's 4. No, you know they have some people that like confusion. Maybe they'll say Karen like that. 18, and we can get 27, and we can get 36, okay? And if we have this is going here, and she's also going here, and they say, hey, if she can get so much, I can get the same thing too. Here, and even more, and here, okay? And then some people say, I'm staying out of this, and others say, let me just go here. And then some will still be saying, yeah, let's go here too, let's go here too, and let's go here too. And what do we have? Pure confusion, ain't it? And so we have many to many, many to many, many to many, okay? And they like to say, yeah, fish market. I don't want to call it fish market because my father is a fisherman and they didn't cause the confusion, right? This is where confusion, wherever it comes from, okay? Many to many. So what are we saying? We have 4 types of mapping: one-to-one, orderly; one-to-many, not in the Christian world; many-to-one, still, yes, this is our Santa Claus and our godfathers and godmothers; and many-to-many, confusion. So we say that many-to-many and one-to-many, these two, they are not functions. Anyway you get many coming in, not functions. The functions are one. The things ending in one. One-to-one, many-to-one. Okay, those are the functions. And CXC would ask you these things on the examination paper. Cameraman, we can see this. And they can be asking you which of the following relations represent a one-to-one mapping. Okay, CX is not asking you anything you weren't taught in the classroom. Okay, same thing. So you take your time, you analyze. I may tell you this story, but you may have different anecdote how you will remember it. Learning takes place by association, and it can be done in the mathematics classroom. Do we have time for a break, Jetta? All right, because we have set them up full, but very, very valuable. We know the definition of a function, relation, what domain means, what the range means, elements. We know one-to-one. If we have a function and we have a mapping and we want to show which is one-to-one, we know how it looks. It does not have to be going like this in straight line. Okay, the one-to-one can also come where you can have 1 going to 15, 2 going here, but still just each thing going to just one member, one-to-one. Okay, and we have one-to-many. Even if it's just one of them, it will be called one-to-many. Okay, and then where we have many-to-one, okay, you can have several persons going just to one person, okay, and we say yes, that's a good example is what we have at Santa Claus at Christmas, and politicians too coming out like that, okay, and teachers, all right, taking care, and the ministers, and the religious ministers, and the community groups too, okay, and Tanny Rose feeding his old people, yes, and many to many, everything has a patch of confusion in it, okay. And so the mathematics classroom is not spared. We're going to give you a little break, and then we're going to come back and teach you one other aspect of our function and relations topic.
The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology and CIBC First Caribbean International Bank are proud to present the 2nd annual CIBC First Caribbean Primary School Awards. Join us and be a part of this celebration of academic excellence as we show appreciation for the outstanding accomplishments of our young achievers. It's the 2nd annual CIBC First Caribbean International Bank Primary School Awards, Thursday, 11 December 2014 at the Precision Center in Painters at 4 p.m. Come and encourage the youth.
Alright, so yes, you had a little time out so that you can calm down a bit and say, Lord, Miss Person not kill me. Right, but you're still doing the maths, okay? Yes, learn the word still. So we know mappings, we know functions, we know the domain, we know the range, we know what element is, we know the 4 different types of mapping, and we know how to identify them. I am now going to take you on to another aspect. We also know what is the meaning of something like f such that x tends to, and if we saw 2x plus 9, we know that that would be saying, what would it be saying, students? Well, how would we express this the second way? F of x equal 2x plus 9. Right, we're not afraid, all right? That is what that would be equal to. Now, like everything else, we also have the inverse of whatever we're dealing with, okay? And I want to teach you how to find the inverse of these functions. If Mrs. Thompson was here, she would have been showing you using a machine how easy it is to find the inverse of these functions. And why don't I want to try the machine, all right, to show you what would be the inverse of that function. So that if we have the function, oh, the Barbudans foot former is fantastic with this. F of x is equal to 2x plus 5. We could put up and say the x, and then we have an arrow, and what would we be saying? It is times 2. Isn't that true? And then so we would be getting 2x. And then if we have an arrow here again and saying plus 5, we would then be ending up with 2x plus 5. Okay, so that is what it looks like if we had to say we're using a machine to build this function. So you would say get an x, multiply it by 2. What would we have? And we have 2x. Add 5 to the answer, and what would we get? We would get 2x plus 5. Now the inverse would mean we're going in the opposite direction. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. So here, if we put up then, it would have been x. And what's the opposite of plus 5? Negative 5. So here we would have x minus 5. And then we're going here. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So it would be divide. Oh, I should be using a different color. So then you would see what the opposite and what I'm saying. Let's start here again. So that now, if again, you see we started with our x here. And we went, it is x multiplied by 2, we get 2x. Add 5 to your answer, because we played that game when we were children. Think of a number, double it, add 2. All right, and it's the same principle. We were doing maths, yes, in the playground we're still doing maths. Okay, so that is what we're doing. And these days Miss Grant stays away from me, and I only see her on the fringe, you know, but she too can do the mathematics. She will soon come back in the classroom. All right, yes, we're going to soon pull her in. So right, oh, she's doing accounting now too, so she'll be back. Okay, application. Now, so here we have it, x multiplied by 2, so we get 2x, and we say add 5, all right? And so we get 2x plus 5. Now, if we want to go to the different direction now, and we're saying get the inverse of that, all right? So we're now saying we're starting with our x here. The inverse of addition would have been subtraction. So it would be minus 5. So we would end up here with, and it would have been x minus 5. And then here, we put up our arrows again because we're finding the inverse here. What is the inverse of multiplication? Division. So it's division. So it's divided. So it's divided by 2. So that when we are finished, we're going to end up with x minus 5 all over 2. And then they asked them, because we were talking about 4, it says, if the number 4 is the input, what number would be the output? So if we put in 4, so you're substituting 4 in your equation, just tell me the answer. Because this is what it says. Oh, my studio guests are telling me. Let me show you what I had at those people at home. Let's show you right away. Because I just want you to see. Okay, so the very first thing, and look where I am teaching you this. The first class where we're talking about inverse of a function. Inverse of a function. All right? Function. And this is after 2 minutes. You can do the question on the exam paper. Okay? 2 minutes and you can do. The input was x. Okay? X. And it says multiply. And they spell the word, you know. Multiply. Sexy, don't make joke. By 3. Okay? Multiply by 3. Okay? And having done that, then they tell you add 5. Add 5. And they use the word to say output. But we would say, what's the answer? You understand? So output means what is the answer or what's the result. Okay? So don't forget these little words. Tell the students. Okay? Show them right away. things you're teaching. This is what's on the exam paper. And this is after 2 minutes that we were saying this. So we said, when you say put in your x, you had x, and it says multiply by 3. So at the end here, we would have 3x. And our next instruction over here says add 5. So here we would have 3x plus 5. So our final answer is 3x plus 5. Okay. So, yes, so y is equal to 3x plus 5. And instead of y, you can have f of x is equal to your 3x plus 5. And now they're asking you to say, if the number 4 is the input, what number would be the output? So this is the same thing as if they were asking you if f of 4 is equal to, and we're using that equation because here it would have been, we're putting in 4 multiplied by 3. So 4 3s would give me 12. Add 5, what would I get? 17. Okay. And that's our answer. Okay. And that would have been the answer. Here we can do it here. Wherever you have your x, you put in your 4 plus 5 and is equal to 3 4s are 12 plus 5 and is equal to 17. Okay. And then they say, if the number 8 was the output, what was the input? So the inverse now we're finding. Okay? So if we started from here and the final answer was 8, what would we have to do when we add 5? What would we be doing? So we'll be subtracting 5. So what would be the answer here? 3. That's what we'd be left with. Isn't that true? Because remember, here the output. So we're going in this direction now to find out what was the input. All right. So this said add, but we're now saying subtract. So it's now minus 5, which would give me my 3. And then we're going in, and it says multiply by. What are we going to be doing this time? Divide by. So it's 3 now divided by 3. And what would have been my input then? 3 divided by 3, what's the answer? 1. So it was 1. Okay? In 2 minutes, that's what's on the exam. Your first class. Okay? First class. Oh, it may have been, let's say, the end of the week. So you had 2 sessions already and in the 3rd session. And this is what CXC has on the examination paper. Okay? So, and here, they have, and here the last part of it, reverse the formula written at C in 1 above. So now they're telling us to do the inverse for this part of it. So when we got that, we had here, add, the output was, let's say 3x plus 5. They're now saying you're putting in x. So instead of adding, it would have been x minus 5. Is that true? And then instead of multiplying by 3 would have been dividing by 3. And that is what CXC is asking. The very first session. Okay? Children, we have to go to school. Pay attention. And again, teachers, work with your examination papers. That's what they're grading you on. Is now how many exam exercises you made your children cover. Take the time to see that they get the concept. That is all. Don't let them move from the classroom until they get the concept. They will love you for that. Especially with the Christmas vacation coming down. Just go on your back in your bed and just cock up your foot and just listen to me doing the talking and just absorb what is there. Because you are going to pass your mathematics. And so, from all of us at the Ministry of Education, we're going to say next time we have 1 more session to do, but do enjoy your Christmas because Christ is in it, and with Christ in the vessel, all will be well. And do not lean not unto your own understanding, but trust in God, and all will be well. And we're singing, "Come thou long expected Jesus." All right, so Jetta too is going to have a good time. So until next time, this is Karen Weston, along with my famous students, Charmaine and Anetta, saying, do enjoy the rest of your day, or whatever time it is in your zone. All right.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.